He was, to several generations of television viewers, the UK's favourite art teacher, along with his plasticine sidekick, Morph.
The late Tony Hart would have turned 100 last month, and his centenary year is being celebrated in a new exhibition of his work. Our reporter Leanne Rennie went for a look.
Well, don't blame me, Morph. I don't know why it didn't work. It usually does.
Tony Hart made art fun and accessible. He and his animated plasticine character, Morph, inspired generations of children to get creative. Now, on what would have been the year he celebrated his 100th birthday, a new exhibition is showcasing works that belong to his family. Many have never been displayed in public before.
The character that you saw in his programmes, this lovely, gentle, kind, rather amusing style that he'd have, that was him. There was no persona that he put on for his TV programmes. That was exactly how he was. And he always saw to it that I had plenty to draw on and to draw with. Didn't say, this is how you do it. He'd say, try this, try that. Let's see what you can make of that. This bright piece here is in the style of Pollock. Pa did by putting poster paint. He'd have some goo in there as well, and squirting it with washing up bottles and just squirting it madly and letting it run.
If I wipe it over with ink, then the magic starts happening.
It was Tony Hart who designed the now world-famous Blue Peter ship. But not many people know that his art training began here in Maidstone, where he studied at the local art college.
I think he would be enormously proud, and it's doing what he was all about, making pictures, getting people interested in making pictures. So if they're coming and they're looking and they're inspired, then that's perfect. Job done.
Ah, that should do it. Now, let's see what we've got.
The Tony Hart Centenary Exhibition is free and running at the Creative Maidstone Community Arts Hub until the 8th of November. Leanne Rennie, BBC News, Maidstone.
We can speak to Tony's daughter, Carolyn Ross, now. Very good morning to you. Do you know, Carolyn, I'll be honest with you, we were just reminiscing, a lot of us here in the studio, about your dad, and everyone started humming the gallery music. Seriously, everyone started humming it. It's kind of embedded in the psyche, isn't it? A moment in time, and everyone loved it.
Completely, absolutely. I often hear it sometimes being played for some other reason, and I think, no, that's wrong. That belongs to Pa in the gallery.
If we start with, I know your dad had so many strings to his bow with Morph. Do you remember when Morph first arrived? Did he sort of arrive in your home? How did Morph come about?
Well, Morph, of course, is the creation of Peter Lord and David Sproxton, the co-founders of Aardman. And he made his very first appearance in Vision On, so we're going right back to the 60s. And he was one of a few little plasticine characters who Peter and David had made as an insert into Vision On. Then when they did Take Heart, which was the next programme to do, Pa's producer, Christopher Pilkington, said, because Pa was presenting this on his own, he said, this is all lovely, but I think we need something alongside with you. And the clue was not someone, but something. And the something, of course, turned out to be Morph, and he is a positively historic national treasure these days.
I have a whisper in my ear telling me, Carolyn, you have Morph with you. Is that correct?
I have two, actually. One of them is at the exhibition in Maidstone, which you probably saw just now. But what I have here, we did a feature for the One Show. It was some years back now. And the chief model maker at Aardman, a lovely guy called Antony, had made a Tony Morph. And as you can see,
Oh, the hair.
it's Morph, but he's got Pa's hair and cravat, and he's holding a palette and paintbrushes. I had to give him a bit of a dust because he lives on the mantelpiece at home, so he's had a brief dust, and yes, he's there, so that's just lovely.
Carolyn, it's Naga. Good morning to you. We were talking here in the studio about who managed to get a picture in the gallery, because we all used to send them in. And actually, one of our colleagues got a 15-second animation on when she was 10. Who chose... Yeah, I know, it's brilliant. Who chose the pictures? Did your dad choose the pictures?
At one time, they were getting about 4,000 pictures a week. So there was a team of retired ladies and gentlemen who would whittle them down to a couple of hundred. And then those would go to Pa, and he would pick the final ones to be shown. So quite a process, yes.
And I remember when some of them were picked, I'd think, mine was better than that, as I imagine most children did. But he seemed to put value as well on effort and difference as well, not being too traditional.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, yes. It's very easy to look at a picture and think, yeah, that's absolute rubbish. I can do, but absolutely the effort, maybe the use of color rather than technique, or the way of filling in the whole page rather than doing a little tiny bit in one area. But you're absolutely right. I think it was effort and imagination that would put those forward in his view.
And for a certain generation, we will be familiar with what we saw on television, but his art went much further in terms of style than what we saw, didn't it?
It did, and that's what we tried to show at the exhibition in Maidstone. He was also an excellent portrait painter. And on show, we've got a beautiful one of my mother. It was taken from a photograph that he took back in the 60s. He did the painting some years later, and it's absolutely beautiful. She was a rather gorgeous lady, but there is something of the psychedelia of the 60s in the background of that particular painting. Another one that was done in pastel crayon of my grandmother when she was in her 90s, and that's rather beautiful. And then there's one in me, a watercolor, which he did when I was 8. So that's rather sweet. Very sunny looking child.
Do you know what, Carolyn? It's been an absolute delight talking to you this morning. And your pride in what your dad achieved and everything is very obvious to see. And a lot of people are going to love the exhibition in Maidstone with bits and bobs there. So thank you very much for chatting to us. And thank you for showing us that special morph. Can Morph wave, or does he not wave? Does he move, Morph, your Morph?
Well, I don't know. He could maybe do something like that.
There we go. Lovely. Thank you so much.
A great pleasure.